As schools begin to accept technology-enabled education into their teaching repertoire, it is necessary that they don't change immediately, completely. And so, this brings us to the concept of the flipped classroom, where some things you do through technology and some things you do in the classroom. What this means is, number one, the technology stuff can be done at home. So you could review, go through the animations or the simulations or the reading materials at home, and next day in the class, you are ready for the activity, the discussion, the puzzle, the case study, or whatever the teacher has planned in order to determine whether you have actually learned as you were going through the technology work overnight at home. So this is the flipped classroom, and a lot of teachers feel comfortable instead of moving completely into a total technology-driven or technology-enabled learning environment. It makes the teacher realize that I am needed, I am still a part of the classroom. And let me tell you, no matter how much technology takes over, the teacher will always be required in the classroom. So don't ever think that you will lose your job or the teacher will not be required in a classroom. The teacher will be. So start small, begin with the flipped classroom. Over time, you may actually end up being in a completely technology-enabled learning environment for your students. This format also transforms the teacher's role from a sage on the stage to that of a coach on the side. So with the flipped classroom, with the actual learning happening at home, virtually through technology, the teacher is not the sage, is not the wise guy with all the information ready on the fingertips. The teacher next day functions as the coach. And what does a coach do? The coach corrects your mistakes, makes you practice, and helps you learn from the mistakes. That is what teaching should be all about. In a traditional classroom, unfortunately, what teachers do is they identify mistakes, penalize a student, grade him or her down, and that's the end of it. That is not learning, that is not education. Unless our students learn from the mistakes, unless we can make them practice the right things, education is not happening. So automatically, with a flipped classroom, the teacher's role changes. The teacher should never be seen as the person with all the information all of the time. Similarly, schools are experimenting with other innovative models to enable student learning on a daily basis to identify what works best for their students. As schools begin to implement technology-enabled education, experimentation will need to be done. We will have to see what works in what classroom, what works with what teacher. If I have used a technology tool and it has worked for me, it may not necessarily work for the teacher in the next classroom because we are different people. Our philosophies to education are different. Therefore, initially, a lot of experimentation will need to be done, and teachers will have to learn and not give up. See, the easiest thing in education, and even teachers do that, is give up. I tried, it didn't work. It tried, it didn't work. Okay, analyze, reflect. Why did it not work? Were you prepared? Did you know everything about this technology tool? Did you prepare the students well enough? Were all the materials and equipment and everything readily available? Analyze why it did not work and go back and fix it. Instead of giving up and saying, I tried, I'd rather just teach in the classroom the normal, traditional way. That is not going to help our students in the future. A study by educational psychologist Benjamin Bloom in 1984 concluded that students who were provided one-on-one tutoring performed significantly better by 2 standard deviations or 98% than those who were taught through conventional classroom instructional methods. Now, unfortunately, in the traditional setting, we do not have the luxury of one-on-one tutoring, one-on-one teacher, one student. Yes, anybody would learn that way. But with technology, that is possible. With technology, in any classroom, for any subject matter, 20, 30, 40, 50 students in a classroom could be doing one-on-one. Because who is the teacher? The software program in your gadget is the teacher. The human teacher is only the facilitator, the coach that is going to help you. But all the work comes through the software program. And so it is possible to make sure that our students benefit, learn better, give us better results when we bring in the right technology at the right time. This study, called Bloom's 2 Sigma problem, is widely accepted to substantiate the link between one-on-one attention and student performance. Any human being, no matter where that person is, if that human being gets one-on-one attention, chances that he or she learns and does the right thing as taught are higher. But in any classroom, as all teachers understand and know, this is not possible. It's not even a luxury. It is just not possible. It's an unrealistic expectation. So bring the technology into your classroom, and this could actually become a reality.